What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad, Sean, and today reactions to the classics. Gonna queue up a Talk song battle, and it's a bit long overdue to feature them on the channel in proper. They've appeared on a couple top 10 lists, but never a dedicated video to them. So I want to shout out our longtime friend and patron of the channel, Pete, for suggesting this song battle for us to do today. As you can see at the bottom, we're going to be looking at the two songs, Living in Another World, and that's going to go against their track, The Rainbow. So looking forward to diving into this.
Yeah, I am too. Pete said Talk's one of the most underrated bands from the 80s and the beginning of the 90s. The last two albums from the 80s, from which these recommended songs come, are just pure art, great produced with fantastic vocals and rich instrumentation. So I've got a little background on the band. They were a British band formed in 1981, led by Mark Hollis, whose vocals, guitars, and piano, Lee Harris drums, and Paul Webb bass. The group achieved early success, chart success, with the synth pop singles Talk in 1982, It's My Life, and Such a Shame, both 1984, before moving towards a more experimental approach in the mid-80s, pioneering what became known as post-rock. They achieved widespread critical success in Europe and in the UK with the singles Life's What You Make It and Living in Another World, which we're going to check out here. In 1988, they released their fourth album, Spirit of Eden, which was critically acclaimed, yet failed to sell.
Friction with the band's label EMI resulted in legal action and countersuing. Webb departed. The band switched to Polydor for their final studio record and one of my 50 favorite albums of all time, 1991's Laughingstock, but they split soon afterwards. Mark Hollis released one solo record before retiring from the music industry, and he passed away in 2019. And the band's founding bass player and drummer Paul Webb and Lee Harris played in several bands together as well. I'm very familiar with Laughingstock, their last album, and I've listened to Spirit of Eden before, but it's been a while, so it's not like I know The Rainbow like off the top of my head or anything, and I'm not familiar with their earlier 80s work either. So that's why when Pete suggested this, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be tight, man.
Yeah, so I don't have much research on the song, so I want to give you a background on the group. But Living in Another World, from the Color of Spring album in 1986, second single making the top 40 in Germany, Switzerland, the Netherlands, and Flanders. First time I've seen that. So I was like, all right. Steve Winwood, the great Steve Winwood, plays the Hammond organ on this track. And at this time, this is about when he was achieving a lot of solo success. If my 80s mind is correct, in 86, he was doing The Higher Love and Back in the High Life again. The song has been noted for its cyclical music structure. Songwriter Mark Hollis was inspired by the modal jazz of the great Miles Davis.
Well, man, with all that said, I'm looking forward to it. With some longer jams. Looking forward to the instrumentation. So we'll have the lyrics queued up, enjoy the track, and then give our thoughts and go to the Rainbow.
Thanks again, Pete.
Hear that Winwood organ, man?
Yeah, you can.
Mixing with the synth up in there. Harmonica, we got a little bit of everything thrown up in here. All right, Living in Another World, Talk Talk. Very varied, instrumentally laden track here, Dad.
Yeah, I would say the story of this one is production and arrangement, both absolutely top notch.
Oh, yeah.
It's more about ambiance. I mean, the lyrics are a little abstract for me. I mean, I see, maybe a girl leaving him and, the things that is kind of going through there. But yeah, you said it, man. You're exactly right. The varied instrumentation, the organ from Winwood, and just all kinds of things coming in. It's 1986, and this, at that time I would have been 15 years old. I don't know this song, but I know this sound, and I love this sound.
Yeah.
I think Mark sounds great. The way he delivers the lyrics, his vocals, like, that's that sound. It transports me back to a place, even though I don't know this song stuff. I really enjoyed it.
No, man, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I know Mark Hollis's vocals can be a little, hit or miss for certain people. But
just that style, because there's a lot of it back then. I get it, but
I enjoy it as you do, Dad. And I think it was really tight to hear that interplay with the Winwood organ going in. With we had a little synth, of course, the electric guitar, and then my favorite part might have been when the harmonica
baby, let's go,
got ramped up in there. I just have that little harmonica riff stuck in my head now.
I know, I do too. Do you think they looked over and like, who what Uncle Neil in this? There's Neil Young in here?
What's Neil Young rocking and rolling, but man, I thought that was tight, and then, lyrically, I think you can kind of interpret however you want. Our dude's obviously going through a bit of an existential crisis here. Help me find a way from this maze. I can't help myself, and I thought it was tight on the chorus too, how almost like some background whispery vocals, living in another world to you, that whole, obviously these people are disconnected, man.
They are, yeah, and I like that too. It's really well put together.
So just an expert craft of musicianship, man. And so now we'll jump ahead a couple years to The Rainbow off of Spirit of Eden from 1988. And here I'm curious, I've heard this song before, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. We're dipping our toes now into the post-rock water a little bit.
9 minutes. Let's do this, baby. And this opened the album. Interesting way to open your album.
No, yeah, really built in that ambiance.
Yeah.
Like we're out in a barren wasteland.
Yeah. I feel like we're down by the docks, maybe. Scraping something? It's going to be jarring when Mark's voice finally comes on.
No, you're right. We got everything, man. We got that piano rocking, the drums going.
So we're going to dial right back out and end how we started.
And I was wondering if we were going to bookend this bad boy. Right, the Rainbow Talk Talk bringing I wasn't lying when I said those post rock sensibilities coming in. What did we go, Dad? About 3 minutes before Mark's voice.
3:27, man. Mm-hmm. The longest build I think I've ever heard in a song.
No, yeah, and I don't know if we mentioned at the start. Opens the record off as well. You can. This is one that's a very the word was coming to mind as I was listening. A meditative type of track.
That's great.
It's the one where you just obviously the instrumentation is just so it really is the highlight. I mean, some of the lyrics are decent as well, setting some of the story, but they were throwing a lot in here.
Yeah, and I think it's 9 minutes long. As you said, it opens the album. There's only 5 other tracks. I think this is something that's probably best listened to in the scope of the album itself. But it's a quite interesting first listen. And Trey, as well as the boys and girls following along at home, give you a little life lesson. And it works for this song because, the things in any human interaction that you have, the two most important things are how you first greet somebody and the first few things you say to them. Mm-hmm. Because then they're going to decide whether they want to have further conversation with you. They've already formed their opinion of you. And the last thing you say to them, or what you leave them with, that's going to be like, do I like this person and do I want to talk to them again? Well, it's the same way in music, right? Some people don't think about it, but what you start with and what you end with, artists and record companies think a lot about it because the first song is like, do I want to go more into this album? And I do with this because I'm like wondering what. Yeah, and then the last song you hear, it's like, oh, that's a really great album. I want to listen to it again.
No, that's a great
So
point,
those are
man.
all important things that go from life into the album. And I think that's what this song accomplished for me. Even though it might be abstract for people, it's 9 minutes long. It made me go, man, well, what comes next? And so that's the biggest compliment I can ever give to a song. So I did really enjoy it, but it is definitely different.
No, man. I mean, what do we have in it? I mean, obviously that trumpet was
we had
going
the whole
in.
9 yards in this thing, man, when you looked at the artist things.
Yeah, I mean, we had the obviously the organ was going in heavy, the distorted guitar especially.
There's an oboe in there, I noticed from the musician credits.
And you just had a little bit of everything, and yet it was a bit uplifting. Anytime Mark came on,
it was.
He would come on, just say 3 lines, and then we'd go back.
Then we dial it back.
Just kind of the up and down, like you said. It had some scraping, like we were really down.
Yes.
By the
I almost
docks,
forgot
man.
about that because it's so long ago in the song. Yeah.
I didn't really remember this song as it was going. The track "I Believe in You" is one of Talk Talk's best songs, and it's on this record as well. Talking about the drugs and whatnot. And here we have kind of our story of a guy who maybe is in jail for the wrong reasons or is wronged and whatnot, and kind of expounded on I think in the rest of the record, man. But a very interesting battle here, Dad, as we go now to our winner. Even though both by the same band, only separated by 2 years, very different tracks.
Quite different. I don't think there's a wrong answer to who won it. I don't think there's some sort of clear winner. It's just going to kind of be pick what you enjoyed a little more. I'm going to go with the first track, Living in Another World. Yet I'm more interested in listening to the Spirit of Eden album to see what goes on from here. So good battle from Pete.
I'm gonna lean Living in Another World myself here as well. I just thought that the energy of it was quite infectious, and I thought Mark was firing on all cylinders. And like you said, it's just kind of what your flavor is on your musical taste on which one, since they are 2 totally different styles. And it's cool to see in just 2 years how much they really expanded upon their sound and changed and whatnot. And so let us know, y'all, which of these 2 Talk Talk jams that you have coming ahead in the battle. And be sure to show some love to Pete in the comments as well for suggesting this to us here today. If you'd like to have us do a song battle or reaction for you, you can check out our Patreon page, which is linked down below, and will also be on the end screen here in just a moment. As always, Ed, appreciate it.
Yeah, this one was very interesting.
Awesome insight today. And until next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and we will see you.